This is my great friend Darren from Third Eye Radio. He's had a lot of
Oh,
really special experiences. He was actually diagnosed or like legally blind at a young age of only 23, and he figured out he could see auras from his third eye, and so now he can like see with his third eye, and he uses that alone for sight. So yeah, like why don't you tell us a little bit more about that?
yeah, just a quick correction. My name
Oh
is
yeah.
actually Sarah, like
Okay.
Sarah with a D,
Okay.
just so you know.
Okay. Perfect.
But yeah, anyway, yeah, lost my sight 2003 due to a head trauma. I got hit in the head with a brick.
Wow.
So pretty much exploded my retinas.
Oh my
And
god.
I think like 26 surgeries to try
Wow.
to repair, but it didn't work. So let me adjust my mic really quick, just a little bit.
Okay. So there
So
was some brain damage, like brain trauma.
no, there's no brain trauma. It was
Okay.
just ripped apart my retinas.
Wow.
And so I lost all material world visual sight in about the end, like August 2003. It was about then.
Wow.
I was 23 at the time, and that was 2003. So people out there can do the math. And but up until that point, I always, like we were talking yesterday, I always had this inclination that something was wrong with the
Right.
world.
Right. Right.
We had a different idea of perception and a different idea of what reality really is.
The Matrix. No.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, the movie itself is very telling, and
Oh yeah.
you can actually apply that literal or figuratively. It
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
matter. And so I actually, this was one of the last movies that I actually got to visually see
Really. Wow.
the world. And I still go, I had that movie pretty much visually memorized.
Wow.
And I watch that and listen to it at least 3, 4 times a year and apply it to what's going on currently in the world. And
Wow.
it's quite how accurate it actually is.
So then tell us about like how you first started like seeing auras and what you see now like from your third eye.
Yeah, so before I lost my sight, like I was saying, I had this inclination which kind of took me down the rabbit hole, so to speak.
Right. Right.
And just to feel. Back then, it wasn't a sighted thing. I don't know if it was a third eye related thing, but it was this feeling that I had whenever I was around certain type of people.
Right.
And then when I did lose my sight, there was like this moment of my time. I call it the bop. I don't know what else to call it, but
Hmm.
there was like this pop top of my crown chakra, and it
Wow.
felt literally like the flower of energy bloomed from the top of my head.
Wow.
And ever since then, it's just been super clear. Again, I don't know if it's actually colors that I'm seeing, but my brain is interpreting it so I can understand it. And I think that's where I get the colors from.
Wow.
So I think it's more of a heightened sense of what I always had, but now I can just apply it and describe it to people in colors because
That's amazing.
most people are so visually
Right.
based and rely on their eyesight.
So if you get like two people in a room, you'll see them as completely different, like quote unquote see.
Oh yeah,
Wow. That's amazing.
it's really hard for me to go out in like a public place, like a pub or a park or something, because it's so overwhelming.
Right. There's so many people there. Wow. So
Yeah.
like how would someone like me or anyone like be able to see auras better?
I don't have a key for it. All I can say is, if you're at least watching this video, you're on the right path because you're seeking that awareness. You're seeking that type of, you could call it enlightenment. Um, it's raising your frequency so you're better in tune and better in balance with the universe. And I think that everybody has the possibility, the capability of experiencing it and
Yeah.
seeing it. So just I would keep on that path and a lot of meditation,
Right.
silent meditation, especially so you can find out who you are. That really helps. I know that.
Awesome. And what is the third eye? Like what exactly what's your opinion on that?
Well, hmm. So, but my research has led me to believe that So if you were to take a cross section of the brain where the pineal gland actually sits, it looks like the what are they, cherubs on top of the Ark of the Covenant,
Right.
right?
All right. Okay.
And so they house the mercy seat, and I'm coming to believe that it makes a lot of sense, and that's where I got third eye radio from. Is that we are a transmitter and a receiver
Oh.
in communication with Creator, God, Source, whoever you may call it.
Right.
Um, that's where the connection and the communication happens, is in that mercy seat in the pineal gland, and
Right.
so that's my opinion of it, at least. So
So it's
there's a
kind of like
physical.
the throne of the spirit, like as the throne of God, like it is the for the Ark of the Covenant.
Yes, yes, and but it's empty for most people, so there's
Right.
nobody.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's empty for
That's
most
very
people,
true.
so you either have evil or good sitting in that seat. So
Yeah.
it's really up to the path you guys want to take.
Well, yeah. In the Secret of the Golden Flower, they say like people who are bad, like or just too obsessed with material, they are always focused on their lower heart, and then they call this
Right.
the upper heart, and say that's better. The third eye, they call that the heavenly heart.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. I've been
like
looking for tell me
what
about it
so
'cause I
like
want
what do you think about just like aliens and stuff like that? Because I mean, I personally I don't know what to think about aliens. I just know there is some evidence about that, like the pyramids, like they have like the coordinates of the speed of light, and then the same pyramids in South America have the exact same base sizes and stuff like that.
to.
Um,
Yeah, the anything. This is funny. Anything in my research, I always end up coming across the pyramids.
yeah, that's
It's
that.
that in itself. So there's definitely something there. And there's a thing called the Band of Peace in Egypt,
Mm-hmm.
and it's right. You know about that?
Never heard of that.
Oh, okay. So it's a stretch of pyramids. I
Mm-hmm.
think there's 7, and each one is tuned to a certain frequency, and
Wow,
they
man.
take used for healing purposes. There's like open air pyramids, all sorts of them.
Wow.
There's a wonderful documentary on it called The Band of Peace. I think it's on YouTube, but it's a really good one. As far as aliens go, um, I have the sense that they definitely exist,
Yeah.
and whether they be uh, government controlled or government artificial intelligence or
Right.
whatever, I think they operate on a multitude of frequencies, and they can go in and out, and that's why a lot of people see him and then don't see him, or
Right.
whatever it may be. But just the fact alone that the universe is so vast,
Oh yeah.
and
I was just gonna say there's trillions of planets, and our Earth
yeah,
isn't even that old. So
yeah, it'd be hard for me to believe, just from a logical standpoint and a
yeah.
literal mindset, that to think we're the only
Exactly.
ones out there. And of course, that's going to go against what creationists believe. But I also believe in creationism, and I don't see why
Right.
we couldn't have both.
Yeah. Same
So,
here. I mean, yeah, I was just hearing about like how Adam and Eve, even though they might have been the first people, there was other people around at the same time that were just however that works. Like
right,
it's like I
right,
believe in creation and evolution at the same time. I don't know. But yeah, like back to frequencies, like I have a video series that I've been making about dimensions. I find
right,
that like really interesting, like dimensions. But I consider the dimensions to be like metaphysical, all of them, like the spiritual dimension, soul dimension, dharma, like karma dimension, divinity dimension, that kind of thing.
right.
So like
Yeah,
yeah, like I really like am interested in that because dimensions are definitely real. Like they can be proven geometrically, and you can feel them too.
yes, definitely.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
like,
there's
oh yeah,
this
guys.
guy named Case Parks, and he's a reconnective healer, and he teaches people how to reconnect with their higher self through frequency. And it's quite fascinating. And we did a show with him,
No.
and he did a little test on people, and it was quite amazing, like how quickly you can feel the frequencies and
Wow. And
reconnect.
what was his name?
Case Parks.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Oh yeah. And have you ever had experiences with foresight or I call it determining when someone can just know something automatically, or foresight is obviously just knowing the future, like with your third eye.
That's tricky because that first you have to determine whether or not you believe in our conceptual idea of time.
Right. Right.
Past, present, future,
That's very
right?
true.
I come from the standpoint that we have these little snapshots that are going on, and that's how our memory stores them. And I think that time itself is one and the same. So like past, present, and future are simultaneously happening.
Right.
And that's how we can get different outcomes that are happening. And
that's why you have relative speed and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, you can experience like quantum entanglement. That's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Like how can you explain quantum entanglement when it takes light 106,000 miles per second to get from one to another?
That's
so
amazing.
You're basically it's a trip. So I like to take E equals MC squared, put a line in the square and put a 3 and really fuck it up.
Oh yeah, I've always wondered if like maybe there's another equation that could relate energy into spirit, like from to go even a step further or something.
Oh, definitely. Like Einstein stopped at the ether because he had to say that there's no ether.
Oh yeah, like
so he pretty much stopped his own evolution as a person,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But yeah, like relativity, like that definitely implies that like all this type of stuff is possible, like wormholes, time travel, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I've definitely seen proof of people being able to predict the future for like pretty much 100% before.
Oh yeah, it's a trip when you start getting. I don't know if you've ever experienced lucid dreaming or not, but who's to say and what is to say that dream state is any different than what you and I are doing right now?
Yeah, I mean, dreams are also, like predict the future. Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah. So if we can experience just those two immediate realities, those two dimensions of dream state.
Yeah. Well, do you know how to lucid dream? I haven't been able to figure it out really.
Oh, it's a trip. I don't know how I initiated it for me, and it's become easier ever since. And I do not recommend this to anyone.
Okay.
What I did was I stayed up for like 4 days straight.
Wow.
Slept for 4.
Oh my god.
And I woke up and then I started writing.
Wow.
And then I went to bed. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, I guess that was my particular equation and how to get into it, because then all of a sudden, I could fly. I could see my whole body. I could read. And it was a trip.
That's
like to
amazing.
be able to have that type of control. It felt like I had more control in that state than I do here.
Wow. I've always wondered if you could lucid dream, then couldn't you do astral travel? Astral projection?
Oh, I think they're connected for sure. I think anything in the dream, essentially, since it is imagination, if you just go into as you're going to sleep, have that in mind that it is your imagination, it is your dream state, then I think anything's possible.
So what do you think about like angels? Like I have my personal belief that everyone has their own holy guardian angel. But like it's kind of like only if you really try to communicate with it, then will you really get the real results?
Yeah, like from the biblical sense, angels and demons and whatnot, I think that I've heard many different definitions of where the word angel and where the word demon came from, and there's all these miscommunications and mistranslations. But I think when it comes down to it, an angel is our higher selves looking over us.
That's true. Yeah, I've heard that before. I felt that before. Yeah, I mean,
so kind of
like the human brain has like 100%. Like we only use like 10%. So it's like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they would lead us to believe, 10%. I don't believe that for
10 seems kind of low, honestly. So then
like a Forrest Gump or something.
Yeah, right. No, but a lot of my philosophy is just based off like infinity itself. Like that's how I came to have faith in God. It's just I kept thinking about infinity and realizing there has to be God from that.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I mean, just if you look at phi or pi or the circle, golden mean, like how could you not say there's a creator or God?
Right. Yeah.
Look at
the sun and the moon are like perfectly lined up and are like everything's like atoms have, there's no reason why atoms should behave the way they do. It's like unless there's a god, all the is energy should just be chaos, really.
And it's funny when scientism, I'll say, tries to find God, right?
Yeah.
And first they split an atom so they can look into it, and they
Yeah.
start splitting, and then they start splitting this and that, and no matter how sharp their scalpel is, there's something else beneath it.
That's so
They're
true.
never gonna find God like that.
Oh yeah, I know. That's very, very true. Like honestly, they'd have better luck like trying with like spiritual means. Like in Russia, I've heard they've been doing this. They pretty much proven telekinesis in Russia, and like I think that's pretty amazing. I have a lot of videos about like psychokinesis. I don't know if you've ever checked out my channel or not, but yeah, but
Yeah,
like
I was actually talking to you last night. There's quite a few things, like you said, the dimensions ones. I
oh
wanted to
yeah,
get
yeah,
into the
yeah. Thanks.
so
So like any like closing thoughts like about your philosophy or anything?
uh well, my first and foremost philosophy is pretty much do no harm.
Okay.
I apply that to anything that I do, say, even how I feel. I'm really conscientious of my effect on other people because I've got this weird energy that kind of, I don't want to say infects, but perpetuates
Right.
into other people's mindset. And like, I just had my chart read not
Wow.
too long ago, and I've got 5 houses, or I mean, 5 planets in the 5th house.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I'm all about, so I got to be really, really conscious. So yeah, do no harm.
Okay.
And like we had talked yesterday about the whole Taoist
Right. Right. Right.
Wu
Yeah.
Wei
Very Taoist.
shoot philosophy. Yeah, so it's really calming and relaxing to be able to go out in the forest and just forget
That's
who
awesome.
your materialistic is. That's why I wear these, is to remind people that you're just a slave to the material physical aspect of this
Wow.
world.
That's awesome. That's very cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for the interview today. I really appreciate it. And
Absolutely, I appreciate it.
maybe I'll call you again and make it and like talk about some other stuff.
Definitely, I would love that.
All right. Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good one.